And good morning. It's 7:03 on this Tuesday, November 17th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome. We've got another great day going for us here. A little bit of a frosty morning. And Tuesday, of course, so we're on the air for Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Tracy Pope is here this morning. Tracy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman.
It's good to see you again.
You as well.
Tracy, of course, is Director of Community Relations for Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. And do you want me to introduce the guest, or would you like the
I'll
honors?
be happy to. We have been bringing on new service lines over the past year, and we now have a weight loss center in Lebanon, and Dr. Christopher Menzel is our bariatric and minimally invasive surgeon, so he's here to talk all about his specialty and what he does.
Well, we welcome you, and I hope it's going to be a pleasant experience this morning, Dr. Menzel.
Good morning, Coleman, and thanks, Tracy, for the
Now,
introduction.
you've already told me you have some South Carolina roots.
That is correct.
And I said, are you a Gamecock fan? And I got an immediate answer here. And the answer is no.
The answer is no. That is correct.
There's a school called Clemson in South Carolina.
There is, and we got some family going and from there.
Where actually did you grow up?
I grew up right near Hilton Head, South Carolina, so Bluffton, South Carolina. A lot of people know Hilton Head.
Oh, we've heard of that.
Right.
Yeah. I haven't been there, but I've certainly heard about it. What was your interest in high school? Were you going to be a doctor at that time?
Well, at the time, I was going to play some ball. I was a big baseball fan and was playing baseball growing up. And at that time, I wasn't as interested in medicine per se. From high school, I went up to Cornell University and got a major in history and minor in psychology. And from there, I did a master's at Georgetown University in biophysics and physiology. So at that time, I was trying to decide between becoming a doctor and becoming a PhD.
Oh, okay.
Right?
You mentioned baseball. You whetted my appetite again. What position did you play?
So I was a catcher.
Oh,
yeah.
did you play past high school?
I started into college. I hurt my ulnar collateral ligament, so I ended up playing some club in college.
Yeah. You have a favorite team now?
Well, believe it or not, it is the Los Angeles Dodgers. Believe it or not.
Oh no. You and my brother. And,
Oh, yeah.
and Tommy Bryan and Preston Martinez here in the afternoon. So join their club.
All right, perfect. Have me over.
But so tell us kind of about your education. Doctors are persecuted almost. It seems like the best years of your life are given to education, and you're sometimes in your late 20s or maybe even 30 years old before you really get out and start, I guess, as we'd say, making the big bucks and doing what you are getting prepared to do.
It is true. It is quite a road. So from the master's I did, I actually took that and started a career in fitness and nutrition first. I became a certified personal fitness trainer and nutritionist and worked with a big multidisciplinary health clinic. So that was actually the first time I became interested in bariatrics and weight loss. I had a lot of clients who were overweight and bordering on obesity, and I'd get them to lose some weight. The problem would be that they'd regain weight right back. So I came to think of it and was like, well, now I'm sure I want to become a doctor and learn what is at the base of this. So from there, that's when I applied to medical school at the Medical University of South Carolina. So I was in Charleston for a beautiful 4 years. And then I applied to general surgery residency and went down to Miami, the University of Miami, and Jackson Memorial Hospital Ryder Trauma Center. And from there, then I did my subspecialization here at Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you married? Have a family?
I am. I'm married. I got married in 2016 and have a beautiful, who just turned 2-year-old daughter named Elle.
So you, the wife, and daughter.
That's right. Another baby on the way, too.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
You live here in Wilson County now?
Yes, sir.
What part?
Yeah, live a little bit, about 5 minutes east of 109.
I don't know where that is. East would be on this side, wouldn't it? Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
The good side.
Well, any particular reason you've located here? You said, I think before we went on the air here, you like Wilson County, you like Lebanon area.
Right. So I grew up in a smaller town area in South Carolina. So wanted to get out, wanted to, take my subspecialization out to, a county that really could use it and need it. So certainly coming here from training, I knew I wanted to be in the area. I mean, Vanderbilt has excellent bariatric a history, kind of a long legacy of excellent bariatrics, and I really wanted to exert that, I'd say subspecialization and that, level of care out here.
Well, let's describe what is bariatric surgery.
So bariatric surgery, it's a great question because people ask me this all the time. Bariatric surgery is two-pronged, really. It's weight loss surgery, but at the same time, it's metabolic surgery. So what I mean is weight loss, people know exactly how that you go to get bariatric surgery to lose weight. And we have excellent results. You can lose from 70 to 80, 90% of your excess body weight with bariatric surgery. On top of that, the metabolic side, and I think that's where the subspecialists really excel, is understanding that bariatric surgery also can cure diabetes, can cure hypertension, can improve heart function, can have liver disease, and all these other slew of comorbidities that we can improve with bariatric surgery.
Well, there are. Let me ask: how is this different from other surgeons, other surgeries, and the importance of it?
Sure. So, I think bariatric surgery is a subspecialization. So, kind of like if you have a lung problem, you want to go to a thoracic surgeon for this. It's very similar in that if you want to lose weight through bariatric surgery and have these procedures and have these health problems get better, you want to go to a bariatric trained surgeon. And the reason why is because there's a lot of literature in the last decade or so, 2 decades, really a lot more recently, on how these changes happen and the proper procedures to be done, how these are done. And through Vanderbilt, we, my partners and myself, have specific top couple percent in the country of outcomes and low complications.
Well, I take it you've been trained in all of this, and is that much different from other surgical training?
So it is. So it's a year that specifically is dedicated to bariatric surgery and the related surgery. So for instance, like that number of cases and those extra reps in that realm really do, I think, benefit. And like I said, like if you had a stroke or something, you'd want to go see a neurologist to make sure you're getting the proper follow-up. I think it's similar in bariatrics in that you want to go where, the most specialization is.
Well, what types of bariatric procedures do you perform?
Right, so there's 2 operations that we perform, and they're both because they have the best literature in weight loss and the best resolution of comorbidities, and those are the Roux-en-Y gastric bypass and the sleeve gastrectomy. In addition to those, yes, please.
Can you tell us a little bit about each one?
Of course. So the gastric bypass, it's the gold standard of bariatric surgery. It has approximately an 80% excess body weight loss, so you'll lose a majority of your excess weight. You may even go back to your high school fighting weight. It has excellent metabolic function with it. So remission of diabetes, sleep apnea, hypertension, high cholesterol, heart disease, all these things have anywhere from an 80 to 95% remission rate. So truly, it's a operation that takes about 2 hours. It reroutes the intestines in that it has a lot of metabolic changes that occur, and people do really, really well with it.
Is this primarily in the stomach area?
The stomach is a huge part of it in that the rerouting that we do, we create a small stomach pouch, and then we take a limb of small intestine and pull that up to the stomach. So it essentially reconfigures the intestines that makes food go down a different way. And in doing that, it has a lot of changes that happen on your intestinal tract.
No, that's one procedure.
That is correct.
What's the other or another?
Right. So the other one is a sleeve gastrectomy. That's the most commonly performed in America today. It also has very good results with weight loss and with metabolic regulation. In this procedure, we remove about 80% of the stomach, and that comes out through small laparoscopic incisions. And essentially, you keep everything in the same order as it is. You just remove a majority of the stomach.
Do you prefer one over the other?
So it really is.
It depends on the situation.
Exactly. In my practice, I do about 50% of each.
Oh.
So it really depends on the patient and really how we can best their health. So, for instance, somebody with diabetes and high blood pressure who's overweight and meets criteria, I would want to consider a gastric bypass in that the literature supports resolution of diabetes and their high blood pressure getting better in a much higher percentage with this than a sleeve gastrectomy.
And the other in any particular?
The sleeve, right. So there's a number of situations that a sleeve would work. In general, a sleeve has only been around for the last 10 or 15 years, so it doesn't have as long a track record of success. However, all of our new studies are saying that it also has excellent metabolic resolution, like the gastric bypass. And for younger patients, it certainly is an option as well to get a lot of weight off before. It's almost like a preventative way to prevent other disease.
I take it that you go into this pretty much in depth before surgery is performed. People know what to expect, what
Yes.
you're going to be doing.
Absolutely. We talk for, it's usually a first visit can take 30 to 60 minutes regularly. A lot of people, believe it or not, they have a good idea of what they want and have talked to friends about it. They have a good idea of, why they want what they want. And then I just pretty much kind of just coach them along and say, I think here is the newest literature. Here's what I know, and here's what I've seen and experienced. And usually we come to the same conclusion.
And you're able to do both of these and do them, I guess, on a regular basis here at Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital.
So as of right now, we will start our service line of bariatric surgery at Wilson County Hospital in January.
Oh.
So currently I'm operating downtown, but I am seeing patients out here in Lebanon.
All right. Well, something to look forward to. Here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We need to take a break right here. And again, my guest, Dr. Christopher Menzel, bariatric and minimally invasive surgeon and director of bariatric and metabolic surgery at Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, along with Tracy Pope, our director of community relations for Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:16. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Bates Ford and the regular oil change, only $24.95 up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic's really picked on the last 10, 15 minutes out here on I-40 East up by 840. All that traffic leaving Dixon County headed towards Kingston Springs. There's a few wrecks out here. OHB at Old Lebanon Dirt Road getting some attention. 400 block of Cedar Point Parkway. That's going to be over in Antioch. That's a non-injury accident. Hey, Jurassic Quest drive-thru, the first ever drive-thru Dino family experience. It's in its final week at the Nashville Super Speedway. Check it out at JurassicQuest.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
The 2020 Titans have all grown up together. They've had a taste of success in the playoffs, and they're back with Derrick Henry.
Henry 20, Henry 10.
Ryan Tannehill at quarterback.
Tannehill keeping around right end, driving, he's in.
A stout defense.
Tight ball.
And a head coach in Mike Vrabel who's ready to lead them.
Brought to you by Steve Lowe Plumbing and the Jewelers.
LHS, Cumberland University, and the Tennessee Titans. The winning teams are on WANT 98.9.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us again. Each Tuesday at this time, our program is presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, and usually on the first and third Tuesdays, Tracy Pope joins us and brings a medical professional. Many times it is a doctor. We've talked to a lot of doctors, haven't we?
Absolutely.
Do you have any news or anything you want to say before we get back to our discussion here?
Well, you usually come to me at the end, but yes, of course, I have things to say.
Well, you can save it for the end.
Well, I just want to say, I know that today we're talking about bariatric and minimally invasive surgery, but I know it's all in our minds, COVID and what's going on in our community. And I'd just like to take the opportunity to let everyone know that we as Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, stand with Mayor Hutto and his efforts to, curb the the rising numbers of COVID and the infections in Wilson County. And we're asking for everybody's help. We want them to take this to heart and practice COVID safety and fundamentals to protect your loved ones and yourself. Please wear a mask, wash your hands frequently, and remember to social distance and avoid large crowds. So thank you, Coleman.
All right. All right, Dr. Christopher Menzel. We've talked about the bariatric procedures that you do perform, and you're especially trained in this.
Yes, sir.
And what is being offered, or actually going to be offered here come January, is really a step up and improvement to what we've had in the past. But that's kind of the way things go. We try to get better. We don't want to regress. But you've had you're very well schooled in this. Had a lot of training. But anytime you have surgery, there are some risks. Let's talk about the recovery from a surgery like this.
Absolutely. So bariatric surgery now, I perform it exclusively laparoscopically. So what that means is with minimally invasive surgery, you're making very small incisions, 5 or 6 very small incisions, no bigger than an inch. And recovery is, because of that, excellent. Patients typically will undergo surgery one day, stay overnight, and go home the next day.
Do you ever perform anything that's not that type surgery anymore? Only on a have-to basis, maybe?
That is correct. Any type of open procedure would be it'd be a rarity. Usually more of a patient who's had a complex surgical history from before and had complications from that from years ago. And that's extraordinarily rare these days.
But I take it you have to be trained for as we'd say, the old way of doing it. But what we do now is so less invasive. I remember when I had a meniscus tear and 3 little holes on my knee there, and it healed up in almost no time. It's so much better than the old way of just the big openings that had to be done.
Oh, that's true. It's a big change in the quality of care, but I'll be honest with you, from residency, I'm very well versed in the open surgery, in that the big thing about Jackson Memorial down in Miami is it's very old school.
Oh.
So
Well, so really, unless there are complications, the recovery from this surgery goes really well, and you probably spend one night in the hospital, and that's it.
correct.
Well, what's a patient's life going to be like the first year after surgery?
So it's honestly my favorite visit with patients is at about 1 year because of the improvements they'll see. So over the course of the year, you'll expect to lose at the first month about 10% of your total body weight, and then at 3 months, approximately 20% of your total body weight. So as we go along, we talk more about how much excess body weight you lose. So from your ideal body weight to where you are, so where your goal is. But it's pretty amazing if you think about it. If somebody comes in at 300 pounds and after a month they've lost 30, 35 pounds, and after 3 months they've lost 60, 70 pounds, that's a huge weight loss. Mm-hmm. The other things we see are the metabolic side of it, in that people with diabetes who are on insulin, on multiple antihypertensive medications, their cholesterol, their sometimes heart and cardiac function, these things from 1 to 3 weeks after surgery will typically improve pretty dramatically. So I have multiple patients I'll see at 1 month who will be down off of their antihypertensive medications. They'll be off of insulin. And so this is really, you can see a huge change in their lives.
Are there any real dangers in this? Again, I know the least little surgery. I think you sign a paper saying that the worst thing could happen is death, and I guess that's always true. But is this, you got a percentage of a success rate maybe?
Well, success rate with bariatric surgery is extremely high. 98, 99%, very, very high as far as weight loss coming from it and low level of complication. To give people an idea, and what I'll tell people when I'm talking about consent with them, is all-cause morbidity, meaning some type of problem happening in the first month after surgery, is lower for bariatric surgery than it is getting your gallbladder out, getting your appendix out, or getting a hernia repair. Oh. So if you think about it, every other surgery that people are generally getting done, our surgeries are safer.
that's good.
Yeah, right.
Well, you lose this weight, and the first year goes well. Are there any changes that I mean? Do some people, even though maybe their stomach is smaller, can only hold a third of what it used to, or something? Do they still? Some people will put on weight, and it doesn't turn out to be as successful as they had hoped.
So nothing is perfect. However, I will tell you, in the gastric bypass, that's been around since the 1970s. Gastric bypass literature does show that at 5 and 10 years, a vast majority of patients will keep their weight off. So that's one that's tried and true, and why I like to perform that one in patients, because we do have a lot of literature backing that. The sleeve gastrectomy, like I mentioned, is newer. We don't have as much longer-term data on it, but at the 5-year mark, there is promising results, and that still a majority of people will keep their weight off.
Okay, that's good too. Well, Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital is accredited by the American College of Surgeons and the American Society of Metabolic and Bariatric Surgery as a center of excellence. What should this mean to a patient?
Right. So, a Center of Excellence, this is a program put together by the American Society of Metabolic and Bariatric Surgeons as part of the MBSA QUIP, so a quality improvement initiative to ensure that bariatric surgery being done at hospitals meets a certain criteria of outcomes, of low complications, and has the necessary resources to be a state-of-the-art center. So essentially, being a Center of Excellence means that we've been recognized by the national meeting of all the bariatric surgeons and that group to say that we are that level. Mm-hmm. So that means for their care, they're getting the optimal care.
All right, and now where's your office located?
So it's at 1616 West Main, Suite 300. That's right down here.
The blue building.
The blue building.
Very shiny.
That's a landmark, really, and it's really a means of identification. Tracy and I, every time we have somebody from that location, that's what we refer to. The
Yeah,
blue
but
building.
it certainly sticks out. I agree.
Do patients require physician referrals?
No, they don't. So they can go on through either calling our number, which our phone number is on all of my information and online at the Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital Weight Loss Center. They can call and self-refer themselves. So they'll go through a system where they'll talk to representatives and they'll put them in my clinic and make appointments. Physicians can also refer, patients on their own. They can either do it through Epic and through our computer system, or they can call or have their office staff call.
Well, I would think with your credentials and of what Vanderbilt is doing and with the accreditation that we talked about, that come January, you're gonna be busy here.
Well, it is picking up already. I mean, thanks to the help of Tracy Pope, Rhonda Watson, the rest of the outreach and marketing group here at Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. People have been really, really good about getting me out there. I'm meeting physicians and doing some work with patients. So it's nice in that we're starting to get busier, and every week you get a few more. So exciting.
All right. If somebody is interested in this, right, and some of the criteria we've talked about today, some of the way you help, if they're interested in this, what's their first step?
Right. So twofold. I mean, truly, you can go online and figure out your BMI, your body mass index. So in order for insurance to cover bariatric surgery, if you have a BMI of 40, that's 40, you will qualify for bariatric surgery, and insurance will cover a vast majority of your bills, probably, potentially all of them. So that's number one. So you can go online, and BMI is simply taking your weight and height. So all you have to do is know your accurate weight and height, and you can calculate that yourself. If you have a BMI of 40, or if you have a BMI of 35 and have a condition like diabetes, hypertension, liver disease that of, sleep apnea, anything like that, 35, and in one of those, you will also qualify. So those things right there, you can do at home right now on your phone or on your computer, and in 5 minutes, you'll know if you qualify for bariatric surgery. So it's very simple.
That might be the first step. Right. What's the second step?
Well, if you qualify, then you call our number, which is 615-322-6000, and there you can make an appointment with my clinic. I'd recommend anybody at a BMI of 35 or over, even if you don't have a comorbidity. A lot of times you'll have related conditions to obesity that we can end up getting covered by insurance. So I'd say the first step is earlier on in your life. Like, I can't tell you the number of people who just say at 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, like, my life has changed so drastically. I wish I did this a decade ago. So I would say, don't wait. Let's take care of it. It's safe, and we're here for you.
All right, and they can get a lot of information there on the website, but even more if they pick up the phone and call, and then they'll hopefully be seeing you before long.
We'll take great care of you.
All right. Okay, we've got a minute and a half, Tracy, and I'm sure you want to mention again what you did earlier, and we I think we're going to be doing a special program next time you're here.
We are, yes. Since March, we have been fortunate enough to have Dr. William Schaffner on the radio with us. We're not only just a standalone hospital anymore. We're part of a larger hospital system, so he'll be joining us that first Tuesday in December. But I just want to reiterate that we at Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, stand with Mayor Hutto and his efforts to curb the rising number of COVID-19 infections in Wilson County. And, we're just asking for everyone's help. And we want them to practice social distancing, masking, washing your hands, and just all the efforts to stop the rising numbers.
Yeah, a friend of mine was saying the other day, he didn't even used to remember washing his hands. Now, every time he passes a laboratory, it's kind of a common thing that he washes his hands. And I think a lot of us have kind of come to that.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Tracy Pope, Director of Community Relations for Vanderbilt, thanks for being here, and thanks for bringing Dr. Christopher Menzel, bariatric and minimally invasive surgeon, with us today, and the director of that at Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Enjoyed your visit, and we wish you well. And that is part one of Coleman and Company. Please keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And to 731, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Absolute Kubota and Rental. They have Lamprey quality tractor implements, including cutters, finish mowers, box blades, tillers, and more. 5-year gearbox warranty. Extremely durable and, of course, available at Absolute Kubota and Rental. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic. Here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic's really picked up the last 10, 15 minutes through Mount Juliet here on 40 westbound. As you come into Hermitage, traffic's on the increase as well. 65 south through Madison, Lebanon Pike at Craig Mead. There's been a crash there in Hermitage. Wrapping up that wreck out in Antioch right now. 400 block of Cedar Point Parkway. Jurassic Quest drive-thru, the first ever drive-thru Dino family experience. It's in its final week at the Nashville Superspeedway. Check it out online at JurassicQuest.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome to Hearthside Senior Living, Lebanon's unique senior living community designed for seniors to age in place, all within a safe, comfortable, and Christian environment. Beautiful retirement homes designed for an independent lifestyle with maintenance-free living. Hearthside Senior Living also continues the excellent tradition of assisted living for those seniors who need additional services. Hearthside Senior Living, an independent retirement community and assisted living community, all on one campus in the heart of Lebanon. Call 615-443-1994 for a tour.
Vanderbilt Health is honored to announce the newest addition to our family of hospitals, Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital in Lebanon. This hospital will provide care for Wilson County residents with the goal of improving the health and well-being of our newest community. Hospitals are for healing, new life, and recovery. They're places of innovation and learning. At the end of the day, hospitals are all about one thing: community. Thank you for welcoming us into yours. Let's do great things together.
71 degrees all the way.
73 degrees, please.
So what's your perfect degree of comfort? We'll help you find it with professional Rheem HVAC service that'll keep your home comfy year-round, save on energy costs, and may qualify for utility rebates and tax credits. So enjoy a new degree of comfort.
72 degrees, and I'm good to go.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
If you don't mind the chilly temperatures, it's going to be a pleasant day out there this afternoon. Highs today will top out in the low 60s with plenty of sunshine to go around. Wednesday's forecast will be very similar with highs topping out near 60 degrees with sunny skies. Thursday's forecast calls for bright and sunny skies. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. Let's look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
Good morning. Welcome to part 2 of Coleman and Company. Just heard it funny here. Want to welcome Sean Dozier, Executive Director of Hearthside Senior Living. Sean, good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman.
Doing all right?
Doing great. I enjoyed coming in and seeing your Vanderbilt mask on this morning.
Betty
Kelly made that for you.
She sure did. Does she make?
She listens, and I know she'll appreciate you wearing that.
Yeah, but does she make a lot of them?
She has in the past. She used to work, I believe, at Hobby Lobby or something like that. So she's very artistic. So
okay, well, our doctor here had one of these on, and he thought he might have bought it from her.
Well, he may have.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway.
But I appreciate you wearing it.
Yeah, well, it's for a special reason, which we'll get to a little later. But Hearthside Senior Living, 215 Castle Heights Avenue North. Again, Sean is Executive Director, and I think doing a great job, and comes here each Tuesday and talks about all that you have going at Hearthside, which is a lot.
It is a lot, and I'm just glad to be there every day. It's a wonderful community. We have a good time. I know it's been stressful the last couple of months, last year, but we have a good time, and our residents are doing fantastic, and they're looking forward to the holidays, which is going to be a little touchy because we don't really know what to do, but we're still.
What's Thanksgiving traditionally like?
Well, traditionally we have a great Thanksgiving dinner that day, and we have some families that usually come in and eat with their loved ones. Of course, it'll be different this year, but we're still waiting. We're still waiting on some guidance from the state to see whether or not they are going to, I guess, permit or allow or what their recommendation is for visits with family. I know COVID has increased over the past few weeks, so it's going to be a little touchy, but I think we'll get through it okay, and I'm looking forward to at least having a good Thanksgiving dinner there, and then, of course, a nice Christmas dinner there, and we do presents and gifts for all the residents, so we'll make the best of it.
Well, but you definitely will have a special.
We will have we will have a wonderful Thanksgiving,
even if the relatives can't come.
That's right.
Okay,
that's right.
Well, I'm sure they appreciate.
They do appreciate it. They appreciate all the good things our staff does for them. We hear it every day, and we appreciate them. It goes both ways. So, are you going to be picking up lunch at the Senior Citizen Center today?
Today,
I'll be there.
I don't think so. I've done forgot.
You're supposed to say yes, so I can have something to talk about. Well, today we're going to be at the Senior Citizen Center.
Somebody's going.
Hearthside is going to be at the Senior Citizen Center, and we're going to be passing out some goodies as you come through the curb. Patty's continuing to do that curbside pickup, and that's very, very popular. I don't know what the menu is today, but it may be why you're not. It may be why you're not signed up.
I think it's hamburger steak.
Okay, is that a popular menu item?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we're going to be there, Coleman, and we're going to be passing out some goodies. So if you're signed up today at the Senior Citizen Center, Hearthside Senior Living will be there to pass out some goodies as you drive through.
Another way that you are community minded, and
we are.
And then, of course, people that come there and pick up their food might one of these days be a resident at Hearthside.
You never know. You never know. It's a great community. Of course, we have our assisted living. We do have a few rooms available, so you can call us at 615-443-1994. Our website, hearthsideliving.com, our Facebook page. You can check out some photos and videos and things like that. But it's a wonderful community, so if you are interested in assisted living, maybe you noticed your relative, or maybe you need a little extra help these days, and maybe the first of the year you want to make that transition over. This would be a good time to check out assisted livings, and we would love to be an option in that rotation. So check us out. Come by and see us or call us. We'd love to talk to you about it.
Yeah, and I think I got this off of your website or off some of your literature, but I wrote it down on my cue sheet here, and I like this. When it's time for a helping hand.
That's what we're there to do.
You are a helping
That's what
hand.
we're there to do. Yeah. We provide 3 meals a day. We provide housekeeping, laundry, snacks. Our nurses there to make sure you get the medication timely. So I often tell people, it's a big transition, it's a big decision, but when you finally decide to make the move, you really do thrive in a community like that because you're eating well, you're getting your medication on time, things are helping hand, you're getting things done for you on a regular basis. So you really do thrive, and they really do a great job.
Right, in a different environment, but you make new friends.
You do.
And most people, I'll bet, adjust almost overnight.
They do.
Time for a Hearthside hello.
Well, Avalon Hospice did a parade for us Sunday for Veterans Day. It was a few days late, but they did a parade for us. So our folks in the assisted living and the independent living got to see a parade that went around our community. So I appreciate Avalon Hospice for doing that. It was a well organized and a lot of people participated. So I really appreciate it.
Okay, that's a little bit different.
It was,
one,
yeah,
but
yeah.
Avalon Hospice.
Avalon Hospice. That's right.
Okay, well, Sean, thanks so much. We'll see you next year.
Thank you very much.
Sean Dozier, Executive Director, Hearthside Senior Living, Retirement and Assisted Living Community, 215 Castle Heights Avenue North. Well, we are 21 and a half before the hour, and Mike Jennings, our county attorney, joins us. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
You are the reason I got out my Vanderbilt mask today that Betty Kelly made for me, and Sean brought me a while back. I carry it in my briefcase all the time. I'll be honest, I can't talk through that very well, but at least I've got it here to remind you of the Commodores.
Well, yeah, and that's very nice of Miss Kelly to make that for you, and that's probably all I'll have to say about it.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Feel like I'm in timeout over here. Y'all rearranged and we're spread out more.
Yeah,
I understand the need, but
we're complying even more with the social distancing.
Yep.
This is probably a good thing. Nobody has complained.
No, I think it's good.
I haven't complained. My arms are barely long enough to reach the buttons over here now, but we're doing okay. And I compliment Susie for coming up with the idea.
Yeah. It's a good plan, and a lot of folks are altering things. Of course, we do our city council meetings, and we spread out. There's only 8 or 9 or 10 of us in there because we're not allowing the public, and then we spread out like this as well. So,
well, we try to do all we can. Tell you what, this thing gotten worse. I don't know why. I'm not a medical expert. I'm not even hardly medically medically literate, but it's sometimes they say it's going to get worse before it gets better, and I don't like what we're seeing here, but I don't know what else we can do about it.
Well, I don't like it either. I don't know what we can do about it other than the things they suggest to us and have been for 5 or 6 months. But, I'm really concerned about the holidays, and I'm also concerned about schools and that type of thing, how much longer we can function.
Let's get back to the lighter side for just a second, because I had a big laugh just as the on-the-air light came on. You had come in here, and we're talking about Vanderbilt plays Tennessee, or Tennessee plays Vanderbilt. They're playing at Vanderbilt this year. What is it, a week from Saturday?
Yes, sir.
And you have not missed a UT game, home, away, or bowl game since, I think, October of '87. Is that right?
October of '87, that's right.
And Vanderbilt, as of right now, is not going to allow anybody into the stadium except parents of football players.
That's what they announced yesterday.
And so it's been suggested to you that that you adopt a Vanderbilt football player.
I can't go that far, Coleman.
That's what we're laughing at.
I can slide in under the fence if possible, or I can, try to slip in. But as far as adopting a Vanderbilt football player, I can't do it.
Why do you not like Vanderbilt?
It's a long story. We'd have to fill up the whole show with that. I could give you my reasons, but it's just
well, it's one of those things.
It's ingrained in me.
You could ask me the same thing. Why I don't
Sure.
like the guys in East Tennessee, but
sure.
Well, I'll tell you this. It's not that difficult for me, because when I was 9 years old, 1949, Bill Wade was a sophomore at Vanderbilt, and they had their games on WSM radio.
Mhm.
Judd Collins and Dave Overton, I guess, was the ones that did them back then. I just grew up listening to Vanderbilt sports on WSM mostly, and I kind of fell in love with them. Well, UT is one of their biggest rivalries, so
Of
you
course.
you don't like the big rival. That's my whole story.
Well, and there's a lot more to mine than that. Mine basically goes back. My maternal grandmother, I can remember her talking about she and my grandfather going to games there when General Neyland was the coach.
Yeah.
And I sort of got enamored with listening to that, and I started reading on it. And
Of course, they hired him so they could beat Vanderbilt.
So they could beat Vanderbilt, absolutely. And so I got interested in it, and then I mowed yards for years. And in the fall, of course, you grind leaves, and I would mow with a transistor radio in my pocket and a earphone.
Yeah.
Now, the kids out there today have no idea what a transistor radio is. But,
Isn't that amazing?
I was listening to John Ward.
Mhm.
And my mother's from Sparta. My maternal side of the family is from Sparta. And Stan Mitchell from Sparta was a fullback at that time. And so I felt like I had a tie there, and it was just natural. And then there's some other things not as pleasant that I won't go into.
Yeah, our Lebanon Blue Devils remember Stan Mitchell, the Tobacco Bowl game in 1961.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that story.
Well, I'll tell it to you one of these days.
Yeah, you go back a little further than I do now.
We had a county commission meeting last night, didn't
We
we?
did.
Was it a good one?
Well, we had a commission meeting, and like we're talked about here today, it's changing things for us. We had 24 people participate. 18 of them were there, 6 of them remotely because of the COVID, and 1 absent. We had a good meeting, lasted about an hour and 15, 20 minutes. I heard Mayor Hutto talking to you yesterday. There wasn't a lot of major things on the agenda, although the resolutions, I know when I say that, the people that it affect think it's major, but I mean, as far as hitting the budget hard or anything, not much there. But we had a couple of things happen last night right off the bat, really good, and I'll go ahead and mention those. We had a young man named Will Bennett. His mother was our tourism director for the while, Jenny Bennett. He is very interested in government, and so he came last night and offered our opening prayer, and then he assisted Mayor Hutto in chairing the meeting. So Will's interested in government. Sue Vanata introduced him last night and said that he had memorized all the presidents when he was 4 years old.
Really?
So what a
yeah.
And she said, how many of us know them all? I didn't see anybody raise their hand, including me. I couldn't name them in order. And the other thing is we honored our animal control director, Mary Scruggs, last night for her work in animal control, and she and her staff have done a really good job. They started our program from scratch. And in 9 going on 10 years now, they've really made some significant strides. And I know from people out there in this great big county that they'll say, well, I've got a dog running wild in my neighborhood or whatever. They can't get them all, but they certainly do a fine job of doing what they do and getting some of them adopted back out to good homes. So they honored her but she credited her staff last night, and they were all there for her. So it was a good night. We got those things done early, and then we got into the business part of the meeting.
Okay, it is time for us to take a break. We'll take a look at the business part of the meeting with Mike Jennings when we come back. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:46. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Bates Ford, and they've got the Works Vehicle Checkup. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. $49.95, 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal, tire rotation, and safety check. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic's been in pretty decent shape for the most part this morning, coming down 65 through Madison. Now they are wrapping up that wreck out there on Lebanon Pike at Craig, Meade, and Hermitage. 400 block at Cedar Point Parkway in Antioch should be back open in just a few minutes. Still heavy traffic here on 40 eastbound up by Charlotte Pike as you come in from Dixon County through Kingston Springs. That still looks good. Hey, Jurassic Quest drive-through. The first ever drive-through Dino Family Experience is in its final week at the Nashville Super Speedway. Check it out at JurassicQuest.com. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
Get excited for Christmas as you take a stroll through Fiddler's Grove Historic Village and see the buildings come to life with animated Christmas decorations. Bring your friends and family to enjoy this safe outdoor adventure. CDC guidelines are being followed. Masks encouraged. Hand sanitizing available throughout the walk. Tours available Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now through December 19th. More details at fiddlersgrovetennessee.com. For the love of Tennessee, visit Wilson County and travel safe.
The Dancing Lights of Christmas is back for their 11th annual celebration of the magical Christmas season at the Wilson County Fairgrounds. For just $25 per vehicle, you will experience the dazzling sights and sounds of over 2 million lights synchronized to some rockin' Christmas tunes without ever leaving the safety and comfort of your own vehicle. The Dancing Lights of Christmas, 5 p.m. nightly, November 13th through January 3rd. Don't forget to visit Mistletoe Merchant's holiday shopping event with over 100 merchants showcasing their one-of-a-kind items, December 4th through December 6th. Attend both events and get discount tickets.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Mike Jennings is here. He is our county attorney. He's also the mayor of Watertown. And as I've said so many times, UT football fan extraordinaire.
Some people call it nut.
Yeah. Okay, last night you told us the preliminary thing here and a couple of very nice things prior to the the main purpose of the meeting, I guess, county business. So some money moved around, and that's not a lot to talk about there. It's necessary, and the commission has to vote on these moves, I guess, approve them, but there's not a whole lot for us to talk about there, I don't think.
No, there's really not. We did some things. We put some money back in the election commission budget from the COVID money, and probably not a harder working group of people than that office the last year, because they've been in elections constantly and handled them very well. We moved some money for the school system to put a new roof on Mount Juliet Middle School. That was about $423,000. That's a 30-year roof, I think I heard Dr. Wright say, and Mickey Hall say. We authorized the employment of 2 additional part-time judicial commissioners. We're having some staffing issues over there as far as vacancies, and 2 or 3 people are working themselves to death, so we had to get them some relief. And I think that was a good move. I'm shooting from the hip here. We changed the definition on the judicial committee, partly to deal with the judicial commissioner's office to make them have a little bit more oversight. And we joined the purchasing cooperative called SAVVIK, S-A-V-V-I-K. I'm not familiar with that, but it allows counties to buy products through them that has already been competitively bid. And I'm trying to think what else. Well, there's something I'm missing. I'll turn it over to you and I'll look through my notes. How about that?
Well, we wonder from month to month what the issues are going to be, and it seems like it's been awfully routine for quite a while. We hadn't had any great big controversies that I can recall, and I'm just wondering if it's a calm before the storm, or if things have really settled down and everybody's pretty much in general agreement.
I think it's that they have settled down, and I think because of the uncertainty that, again, is dictated by the COVID thing, that there is just not a lot of big ticket items being discussed right now. Now, I was just thinking while I said that, Coleman, I wonder when the day comes 4, 5, 6, 7 months out there when we're hopefully back to normal, and people start saying, okay, I did without for a year or 18 months, now I need this. And that wave may be coming. But right now it seems to be that we've done a pretty good job budgeting. I heard Mayor Hutto a little bit yesterday talking about revenues and how they're coming in, except for a couple that are down a little. It has been, I think, to all of us, surprisingly stable, considering what's going on out in the world. So we hope that continues. And
did you find anything in your notes there?
We moved a little money in the Ag Center. They moved some money around. That's all they did. And then we moved a little money out of the Drug Court Reserve Fund into Drug Court for Jeff Dixon.
Yeah.
And one thing that is significant for all county employees, although they'll never know it, but we voted again last night for another year of insurance for partially self-funded insurance. We have to renew that every year. So that's good through December 31, 2021. So that's pretty significant, although it flows pretty smoothly.
Well, I'm not privy to some of the information about the county's insurance that I once was, but we take pretty good care of them health insurance-wise, don't we?
We do. We have good insurance plans. We actually have a 3-tier plan that the first tier covers some of the older employees, and then depending on when you were hired. But we do that, and they do a good job of managing the money. We've been able to stay within the money the last 3 or 4 years. We've had to trim some things, perhaps cut out something here and there, but by and large, it's a good program.
Well, it's my understanding it is self-funded up to a point per individual or an aggregate amount, and then we have an insurance that kicks in after somebody on an individual basis has been out so much expense, and then if the whole county exceeds a certain amount, then there's reinsurance there. Is
That's correct. Yeah. You've hit the nail on the head, and that's the reason it's called partially self-funded, because we fund it up to a certain level, and then the reinsurance kicks in.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't get to that point.
Yeah.
Really, when you get to that point, it's something catastrophic like heart
Well, if
surgery
you have
or something.
a number of people who come down with catastrophic illness, especially a prolonged bout with cancer or
Right.
something like that, a number of heart surgeries or that sort of thing, that can really eat into the insurance fund.
It can, and that's the reason they purchased the reinsurance. And we've, I missed the last insurance committee meeting. I'm not sure if we've even had a claim this year on our reinsurance. So hopefully we haven't. That's good.
What is in anything? You mentioned one scenario there that a few months from now, if things change a little bit better for the better, that somebody's going to say I did without for a while. But what else might be looming? One thing I know, we were talking about the jail expansion, and there's already plans afoot on that. How much can you tell us about that?
The jail expansion has been bid, and my understanding is we had 3 bids, and the 3 came in under the anticipated money we thought we'd have to spend.
Under 50 million, I think.
So I think that is going to be probably the vote in December to approve that, with construction starting in January. That's the next big ticket item, and I'm glad you brought that up. That really wasn't on my mind, but that's going to start progressing.
Well, would there be much opposition to that? I mean, it seems that, and we've already bought the property that where Highland Heights Church of Christ is now. Of course, they're moving to a new place, and the county's bought that, and it's going to be transforming over time. But the jail expansion comes before that, and then I don't know exactly what is here, but we know we've got 5 acres or so over there, and be some courtrooms built and some that sort of thing.
Ultimately, there's going to be a new judicial building built there, and maybe the whole front part of the building now would be used for jail or administration or whatever. Okay. That's 3 or 4 years down the road, but the jail expansion is the immediate thing. I don't think there's going to be any opposition to that, certainly since the bids came in under the money. Two hardest things I've always heard that you don't want to have to site in your county is a landfill and a jail, because nobody wants them in their backyard.
Right.
We're fortunate we've already got those sites and we've got room to expand, so we don't have to go through that. I know the people that live around those two maybe don't like it, but they're there and have been there a long time. The other thing, Coleman, that occurs to me, and I always kind of circle back around to it, and I don't think there's any way around it, is what's going to happen with schools.
Yeah.
They've got a week off next week, and we're going to have Thanksgiving holidays, and we're going to have basketball games and stuff like that. And it's a challenge to keep schools open now. We've got some individual schools that are totally remote. We've got others that are on the alternate system. So it's a challenge, and at some point in time, I wonder how their money is going to hold up, just because of having to do more things, more cleaning, more people, more substitutes, more alterations that they have to do. But right now, everything seems to be running as well as can be expected. I say that from being somewhat on the outside looking in. I'm not in the day-to-day stuff.
Far away are we from another new school, either elementary or high school in Wilson County?
Probably need it right now, but you're probably 2 to 3 to 4 years away, I would say. The jail, everybody knew that the next big ticket item would be the jail expansion, that it had to happen. Once that gets underway and probably close to completion, I think you'll see them start talking about another school. I'd always heard another high school. I don't know if that's true or not. But one of the biggest challenges we've got now are the 2 schools that were destroyed in the tornado. We're having some issues there about getting those matters resolved. I'm told that it has to do with, we think it's a total loss, and they want us to, for lack of a better term, patch and rebuild. And so I think there's still a struggle going on there.
Is this with the insurance company?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's still, a lot of people are saying, why aren't you doing this? And I think that's the holdup. I hope I haven't misstated that. But
We have 2 minutes or so. Tell us about Watertown.
well, Watertown is rolling along well. We're
Hey,
looking
your
forward.
football team's going to play
Yeah.
third year in a row.
Third year in a row, and last
Trousdale
2 years
County.
Trousdale's beat us. So hopefully they haven't gotten in our head. But we've had 2 good playoff games. We've had a good year, and we've just had a lot of good things happening at Watertown and in our schools. And we had a city council meeting tonight. I don't anticipate anything major, but small town government is full of surprises. So I hope there's none tonight.
Well, you when will you got one new person or is it?
Got 2.
Oh yeah,
and
Mahoney,
and they will
Laura.
they will take office sometime next month. We historically have always sworn people in the next monthly meeting after the results are certified. Philip told us that the certification will be next Monday. Our December meeting is way on down in the month, like the 17th or something, and I've given them the option if you want to meet earlier so you can take the oath, we'll do that. But if not, we'll just meet then. Yeah. So things roll along pretty good. We don't have to have many special meetings.
Any surprises in the election? Or did you sort of anticipate who's going to win on the city council? Hal Roberts had been on there, hadn't he?
Yeah, Hal's done a good job. He actually filled a seat for us. I was a little surprised at that. Yes, I was. I think I mentioned this before. I said it sincerely, and I'll say it sincerely now. We had 4 good candidates, and we couldn't have gone wrong with any of them.
Yeah.
I wish there was a place for all of them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've about come to the end of the time. Mike's always good to have you. We'll hopefully keep on doing this for the foreseeable future.
I hope so. And
I hope you change your mind and you adopt one of those football players at Vanderbilt.
Oh, things are day at a time now, Coleman. There's no assurance that games this Saturday will even be played.
Well,
Texas A&M's already called off another game this Saturday because they don't have enough people.
Mike, thanks again. We'll see you, and I hope you'll join us tomorrow for Coleman and Company. Till then, I wish you a terrific day.